Hello, and welcome to the NFPA LiNK YouTube channel. This page is dedicated to answering key questions you have related to electrical and life safety. With easy-to-use digital access to NFPA codes and standards, NFPA LiNK is your window to productivity. Today, we've been asked to address arc flash hazard warning labeling requirements using the 2023 National Electrical Code. So from my desktop in LiNK, I'm going to navigate to the 2023 NEC and then move into Article 110, which covers our general requirements for electrical installations. From there, I'm going to navigate to 110.16, which is covering arc flash hazard warnings. So with this, there's two parts we need to address. First is the general part in A. And initially it tells us that electrical equipment such as switchboards, switchgear, enclosed panel boards, industrial control panels, meter socket enclosures, and motor control centers that is in other than dwelling units and is likely to require examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance while energized shall be field or factory marked to warn qualified persons of potential electric arc flash hazards. So first, let's dissect a few things. All the equipment listed is what would need to be labeled, so it gives us a good idea there. The statement that it's in other than dwelling units lets us know that residential applications, this would not apply. We don't have to have arc flash hazard labels. Now, in looking further into this, we have a requirement for examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance while energized. That's pretty common for any electrical equipment that's listed here, that it could potentially need to be serviced while energized. So we need to keep that in mind. Any of these electrical pieces of equipment are more than likely going to have this label. Now, the second sentence in Part A states, the marking shall meet the requirements in 110.21b and shall be located so as to be clearly visible to qualified persons before examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance of the equipment. So that last part is a big piece, and you might have noticed that enclosed is highlighted in the first sentence. So that's in addition to the 2023 NEC, because the idea behind this is that people would be able to see that arc flash label before they get in work on the interior components of the panel. Well, a panel board itself is often mounted within an enclosure where if we were to put the arc flash label on the panel board and it was in the enclosure, they wouldn't be able to see that before servicing the equipment. So the idea here is to make sure that it's on the outside of the enclosure before you actually get into the enclosure to service the panel board. 110.21b, and we can hit this and it'll give us a little pop-up. This is what we've seen before with other labels requirements. It has to be of a sufficient durability to withstand the environment. So depending on where it's being installed, indoors, outdoors, maybe there's some kind of things going on in the environment and production environment. We just want to make sure that those labels are going to withstand that environment over time. And then part two to this is that the marking has to be permanently affixed to the equipment and wire method, and it can't be handwritten. So I think those are pretty much understood, but that's what's being called out there based on 110.21b. Now, if we go to Part B, we see that there's quite a bit of highlighted text, meaning there's a lot of changes to this between the 2020 and 2023 NEC. So I'm going to open the side-by-side changes view here so we can look at the differences. So what we're seeing on the right is the text from the 2020 NEC for this section. And then, of course, on the left is what we already had open, which is the 2023 NEC. So we can see the first thing they've clarified is that it's not just any permanent label. It needs to be an arc flash label. That's the intent of this section. But if we look at the heading, that's also changed. So it says, and feeder supply equipment. So previously, the statement was that service equipment, it was specific to service equipment that was rated 1200 amps or more was what the requirement was around. Now, in this section over here, we see a couple things that have changed. We now have feeders. So it's not just about service equipment per se. You could have a feeder supplying another distribution panel or something downstream in the building that isn't technically service related at that point, but just a means of distributing the power throughout the building. Well, that still has to be accounted for now. So it's not just about being service related anymore or service equipment. In this case, anything that's supplied by a feeder, and now the ampacity has changed from 1200 to 1000. So any feeder supplied equipment rated 1000 amps or more. So that's where we're at with what would be required. So we saw everything in A, equipment wise, what would need to be labeled as far as the listed equipment. And now we have an actual ampacity that we have to look at. So we have 1000 amps or greater on any of that equipment listed in A, then it needs to be marked. Second part to this is that the arc flash label has to be in accordance with applicable industry practice and include the date the label was applied. And then we see that 11021B is mentioned again. Of course, we just went through that, but it would apply here as well. So if we look at the text from the 2020, it gave us some specific items that it was breaking down in here, what had to be on that label. Now it's going with the applicable industry practice and the date that it was applied. If we go down to informational note number 2, we see that NFPA 70E, which is the standard for electrical safety in the workplace, gives us 4 applicable industry practices, including equipment labeling. So in that case, we're going to use 70E to look at what would be standard. And I already have that open over here. And I'm in 130.5H. And without taking too deep of a dive into 70E here, because it's not what we're doing today, is just looking at what's required. So we have nominal system voltage has to be on it. The arc flash boundary has to be on it, so that'll have to be calculated. And then at least one of the following. Part A says the available incident energy and the corresponding working distance, or the arc flash PPE category, based on the tables. So there's 2 different options in 70E. If you're familiar with it, you can either provide the incident energy, so the proper PPE can be selected, or you can use the category method, which will tell you what category of PPE needs to be used for that piece of equipment. So those have to be on the label, the minimum arc rating of clothing, and then site-specific level PPE. You have to have at least one of those 3 things listed there on the label, in addition to having the nominal system voltage and the arc flash boundary. So we hope that provided some insight into the arc flash warning label requirements using the 2023 NEC. For more info on how NFPA LiNK gives you the knowledge you need to get the job done right, please visit www.nfpa.org/link.